LE side. So, see how they are enjoying it. It's looking like they're just real chill. Nice to see some of the former LCK alumni here supporting, especially after Score and Dandy walk back side by side. We see some other old guards from the LCK here back from that era. Really cool stuff. Of course, Nogari wasn't quite there in 2015. Still, let's get on with the riff. Game one.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the riff for game number one. I mentioned old hands of the LCK. OQ is it's more an NA player. The amount of years that he spent over there. Did finish his career on Snake, but spent most of it in NA, playing for a whole bunch of different teams over the years. Was, you know, he was on Najin Empire back in the day. Did his stint in Korea as well. And Pawn and Nogari, you guys, of course, obviously know as well, if you've been watching some LCK recently. Not recently. Well, Pawn has not been playing very recently.
Yeah.
But it was one of the most fun times when a lot of our players came back from China. As I'm just going to have to hold that thought, because Zeker is going to have to flash here at level 1. And sometimes you just get punished for walking a little bit too far forward.
Yeah, good pickup, good start from KT. You know, that ward, that late ward, often very common around the Raptors, and punishing with the Nautilus is a nice pickup.
Yeah. All right, KT coming out of the gate strong. And I really do, like, I was so tempted this week to just throw out a KT pred, but my predictions have been so bad. I just didn't want to take any risks. So I just went for HLE, but I think I'm going to regret it. And I think that this team actively tries to make sure that my predictions are true.
It's one of those things where you know there's going to be one at some point.
Yep.
And then you try and go for it, you eventually land on when you think is going to be the day, and then it doesn't happen. You're like, you know what? I don't trust you. Then the next day it happens. And you're like, well... Cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just RNG.
No, they actually have that in the LPL.
Oh dear. Bellows Breath actually avoided really nicely here as Perfect slowing Zeus down. Doesn't have that Flame Spitter back. But playing out this matchup quite well. But on the edge here for both of these top laners.
Blue side rumble.
Yeah, man, this champion really just doesn't dash.
Oh.
Okay. Zeus just going to have to searingly charge his way away.
It never feels good when you're forced to recall on Ornn. You know, you just kind of, you're hoping just to chill in lane and build your items and never go back. But forced to TP already.
I imagine Boris is like, who are you, when he turns up. Delight going to be able to headbutt way back. Yeah, this is Dr. Aphelios, guys. 30-17. The guy's pretty good. And remember, he didn't play for teams that did much winning, right? Like, even when he was on DK, like, the team just wasn't really the same. And so this is such an impressive stat for this guy to have. And KT now with full control of this wave as well.
Oh, it's in such a bad spot. And because they're doing that annoying thing where the gank failed because the ward was there, but then he hangs around, he's taking the scuttle, so Viper and Delight have to respect him, have to back away. Can't really do anything about the frozen wave state. And
Peanut is also not going to be ganking top lane, so instead it is just going to be a bit of a lane swap here. Viper heading back up as Wade delivers some money over to Doctor.
Yeah, the delivery of the CS with the swap and the wave's been held in such a good spot as well.
But it is Aphelios moving back down towards the bottom side of the map, actually, not opting in to that swap. And so now maybe Perfect could be in a little bit of trouble, because we can see Zeus was waiting in the brush. Viper now moving up. A flash is going to have to be burned here, and there it goes. Nicely played.
Wave sitting in the top lane now, pretty favorable for Viper. He can hold that for a while and kind of reward himself in a similar way to what he's doing here.
But now Zeus probably just never gets to touch this wave, right?
Yeah, but Perfect now can't touch his top wave. So it's basically like lane swap meta, you know?
Yeah.
Both top laners are just victims. And if you're going to have both top laners be victims, would you rather have an Ornn or a Rumble?
Well, as long as the Ornn's getting experience, you're probably chilling. As you can see, speaking of which, he is actually sharing with Viper for now. as this cannon will be picked up. Finally, Zeus is going to be going back home. As Perfect wandering over a ward.
Oh, if Zeus stayed just a little bit longer,
yeah,
it's going to be in big trouble for Perfect.
Down a flash, remember? As Wei has decided that he is just going to move up with the Rumble to try and assist here. So it is sort of like a pseudo swap scenario. It sounded like, felt like alliteration, but one of those words starts with P. So it's not officially.
Isn't that like a, I'm sure there's...
Oh, well, that's a flash to come on forward. Wei, really good use of the passive there to stop that headbutt from moving Perfect back. Still has to use the flash though, respecting Peanut, making his way over. Only level 5, but still dangerous.
I'm sure there's a word for when it's not actually alliteration, but it sounds like alliteration.
Alliter-homification.
I'm sure there's an actual word for it. I'm sure there is.
Yeah, maybe it's still an alliteration.
No, it isn't. I'm sure there's a specific word for when it sounds like it. It's
Chat,
a thing.
Is it a thing? Let us know. Viper is taking a little bit of damage here. That is going to be because securing the dragon. Peanut still just milling about on this top side. Resets coming through everywhere here for KT, who have been doing very well, honestly, so far in this game. Doesn't mean we're really going to jump to any conclusions or say anything about how this game is going to go, but still, so far, so good.
They haven't lost the game yet, which, you know...
The Nexus is alive.
Promising start. Dr. did get a large amount of XP from when he was on the bot side, a lot of amount of gold, but it feels like Viper has managed to catch up a decent amount. This wave is pushing in, though. Dr. will be able to soak that up. And will, I think, approach on level 6 on the back of this. So a big spike for the Aphelios.
Yep, sitting on Infernum Crescendum right now. Not exactly optimal guns if they do want to go for any fights.
A lot of freezing so far in this game, and a lot of decisions around these swappings. It feels like Viper's just kind of been avoiding the 2v2, which makes a lot of sense.
Yep. I actually thought that, like, oh, you'd want to get through a lot of the Infernum ammo, but he doesn't want to AoE the wave. So instead, he's just going to hold it and utilize some of that wide ammo instead. Understandable stuff. Looking cool with that skin as well, because we haven't been seeing much of Aphelios, we haven't seen much of the new skins, so kind of nice that we get a little bit of an update. As BDD throwing rocks into the nether, doesn't quite find that seismic shove, but just getting his eye in here in mid lane. Calibrating. Oh yeah. And obviously Zeka didn't exactly have a great start to this lane and missed a cannon right there, so... our key player matchup, Orcs, our key, it's a disaster.
Oh man. That was such an own goal as well, such an unforced error, just
yeah,
right there.
Just a shadow of his former self, isn't he?
Man.
Oh dear. Well, Cuz is just going from objective to objective, as Dr. I'm going to come down and help him out here. He's got a bunch of these chakrams built up.
They can't
be able to take this one down.
Contest this. I feel like KT could just get all 3.
Well, Peanut is going to at least move in. There's the wall being put down as Viper could be in a little bit of trouble. Delight's running the wrong way, only level 5. As BDD flashes. Teleport in though from Zen. Delight is down solo. First blood goes to Nocturne. Equalizer goes to Narnia though, and that means that now Viper is able to get one back. Wei going to be the next one, and it's a double kill for the Yunara. It is an absolute disaster. After it looked great for KT, it then wasn't.
All that gold onto Viper, such a big boon. He just hit level 6 before that fight started and able to get so much damage down. The focus from KT was on Delight, and really focus in return not to go after Peanut.
Yeah, an optimistic maneuver there as Perfect going to try and light him on fire, but realizes that it is a little bit scary and dark in the area.
Yeah, KT will still get the objective. You know, they got the 2 grubs at least. We'll see if they can get the 3rd. But having that and the dragon, pretty positive. But it's just the fact there was 2 kills specifically on a Viper. In fairness, Dr. did get one in return. But yeah, the turnaround here, so the ult comes in, the TP's pretty immediate, and the Realm Wolf comes in the back of Viper, gets that laser, and then Delight manages to survive long enough to knock up Cuz. The exhaust comes in, he gets focused down by Zeus and Viper.
The equalizer is so worthless as well.
Yeah, it really didn't achieve much. And then the disruption comes in, the Nautilus can't get out, and Viper just ready at level 6, untouched that entire time.
Yeah, amazingly done. And now, nice little walk around there to avoid Zen, and that will get him to safety. Well played here by the Rumble.
So powerful, just the walk strategy.
Walk is so OP.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got phaser up. But he doesn't even have phaser. He just walking there.
Just boots of speed.
The brown bag.
You know what I find really confusing, right? Yeah. They're called boots of speed, yeah?
Yeah.
They're the slowest boots.
I mean, it is faster than no boots.
Yeah, but, you know, the boots of speed, and they're slower than every other boot in the game.
Yeah, good point.
You know? Like, you look at plated steel caps sound heavy. And they're way faster than boots.
What? And they always build into something else. So why can't you just call them like boot liner?
Yeah.
They're actually just a line. Like if you're buying a snowboard boot or something like that, it's just a liner. That goes into the thing. Like if never mind.
They can be socks.
Yeah, socks. Oh my, the brown socks.
Yeah. It would make so much
That makes so much more sense. Why did I say liner? I've got rollerblading brain.
We've solved it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Okay, we're going to say brown socks from now on, and you can't stop us. Because unfortunately, we're here with not very much policing. And so it's just outright.
We come up with just way too many terms. It's really dangerous.
Ji-sun could just turn us off, I think, if she doesn't like the socks idea. But she might be into it as well.
Yeah.
We'll see. If you can still hear us, then maybe it's allowed. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Ji-sun. Okay, we don't like the socks idea.
Okay, socks is not approved. This is the first time we've had an idea not approved, so that means they love tempo vibes.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. So do KT as they take themselves a double dragon here. There's the exhaust onto Peanut. Double knockups come through his way. Welcome back to the LCK, my friend, but they are going to be able to trade for Delight as well. Zeka now looking for a rune prison, connected there onto Peanut. Perfect, sorry, who just wants to get out. They'll be able to do so as PDD just shows them the wall. Says we are done. Hex gates to come through as it's a Hextech Soul this game. Blastbone will be able to get Zeus in here. There is a turret still available. Yeah, okay.
This is vibing.
Yep. Wait, just going to be able to hook him up. Connects the anchor there. But the ram is now going to come down. Flashes out of the way as he isn't then able to activate the ultimate. As now Peanut just getting smashed around. Cuz with the ulti, able to keep himself alive as Doctor walking back into the fray. Seismic Shove is so good as both of the supports just come back to die again. They are speedrunning to as many deaths as possible.
I'm a little bit confused about why that play needed to happen. KT getting a pretty favorable situation initially just by getting the second dragon, managing to disengage the trade of supports. But then Zeus just went on this magical journey. He's not even playing Bard, but I felt like he was embodying the champion with this big flank, I guess. You know, we call it a flank.
Question mark?
Question mark? Yeah, so the initial play, the supports kind of just get blended, shredded here. Delight, even with the ultimate, gets melted by the affiliates at close range.
And Zeka also sends Viper and Peanut away for some reason with Realm Walk. It was really interesting. I think there's a bit of a two minds thing.
Wandering by himself, ults, and then goes, I'm flashing out the seismic shove. I'm not ulted. Peanut's like, bro.
Couldn't he have flashed forward to reactivate the ult and done like a sick play? Couldn't that have been I mean, I know I'm hindsighting, but could have been pretty cool.
I mean, yes, he could have, but why would he do that when he could have just flashed out of it and not ulted, you know? What? Yeah, who knows?
He could have also not taken the blast.
He could have, I don't know. I really...
There was a lot of layers. It was an onion of mistakes.
Yes. You know who really, the one person I feel like is still being faultless?
Viper.
Yeah.
I mean, Viper Life Esports is a thing for a reason. They're also like
more of a thing now.
Yeah, they're also really, really close in gold. Like
I feel like I was
200 gold.
You know what? Sometimes you're doing something on cast and you feel like I feel like I'm doing this too much. I'm doing it too heavy. I feel like I was laying it on too thick.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now I wasn't laying on thick enough.
Now, apparently, Wolf was donut shop yesterday. I think you're allowed to do it here today.
Yeah. It's just
your turn. I don't know who Wolf was apparently blazing, but he apparently was. Some guy had a very funny Twitter comment.
Okay, well, at the moment, I'm locked in on Viper.
We know exactly where the donuts are going.
Yeah, he's been getting these big lasers, and it's not doing that much damage yet, but it looks threatening. You know those abilities that look scary, and you know at some point it's going to do the big boom boom damage, but right now it's kind of like, you know?
Wow, Dogcom is just collecting. Just first item collector.
Oh man,
Kind of feels weird to see it.
it's been a while.
I respect it.
He's the Aphelios guy, right? Who are we to judge?
Exactly, he knows the builds. It's not aiming where we're judging every single build. I'm like, are you sure Blade of the Ruin King on an on-hit champion's a good idea? It's all right, the ram gonna come on through. Yeah, perfect. You can see that equalizer. That wasn't for the fight. That was to just kill the minions, and it didn't do that.
Pretty good ult from Zeus. I think helps when he doesn't flash it. Okay, I'm sorry, that was hard. But yeah, no, it's good ult. Ease to get in closer range to follow up on it, and they do take out Perfect pretty swiftly. Given more objectives over to KT though, which doesn't feel super great.
Yeah, it will still mean feats of strength likely to go over to HLE, as you can see there. Upgrading some of them shoes.
Yeah.
As the first turret does go down.
Zeus still only has the brown stuff, so
yeah,
those won't be upgraded.
You'll get muted. Be careful.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Wow. What if there was a fight that broke out? G sounds like, well, we can't listen to them anymore. They're saying the socks thing again.
Oh, well, don't everyone has feats of strength boots now, so we don't need to bring it up. Aha! Oh wait, I just saw Dr. Maway's item. Yeah, don't mention it.
It's okay. It's okay. Do you think they have sandals on as well?
Which champions do you think would wear socks and sandals?
Aphelios in that skin, 100%. No, actually, no, he doesn't have socks. Oh no, but we just confirmed that he did. Oh no,
I feel like
I was just praising it and it's ruining everything.
I feel like Jaime would be the sort of champion.
Oh, he would. 100%.
He would totally own it.
Oh, Mundo as well.
Oh,
Mundo,
yeah.
definitely. Actually, he'd be like wearing his suit and tie from his corporate Mundo skin, but he'd also have socks and sandals. Oh no, wait, I thought I'd been muted again for a second now. I keep getting scared. We are right on the edge. We are right on the edge.
We are limit testing, you know. A lot of our teams have been limit testing. Now we as casters are limit testing. It's quite fun. I can see why they do it.
Yeah, it's exhilarating. I don't know whether it's conducive to positive outcomes in your life, though. That's what I'm getting to. Now at least I understand why it's happening. It's all right. Doctom here in this mid lane just going to be clearing out waves. And I do feel like Aphelios and Yunara, similar vibe. I know like Aphelios doesn't have nearly as much mobility.
I think they're just scary if you get close to them.
Yeah, they are not necessarily the longest range, but just do ridiculous amounts of damage.
Yeah.
And of course, one has mobility, the other one has a lot of utility, depending on what you have, and a lot of names. Both of them have. Of course, 5 double names. When you press your ultimate, all the buttons are called different stuff.
You have Viper's closed in on level 11. Dragon's already up though. It is big if you get the level up because it upgrades your laser damage. He doesn't have that yet. The Dragon's being started. They're going to have to set up a fight. I mean, even flanking.
This is double Dragon. The KT has. So this will be sole point. The Ram's going to come down. That's a single knockoff. And Zeus is just in amongst it. They're looking to try and take down Doctom, but he is able to stay alive and perfect. Takes out Zeka. Peanut is spinning for some reason. And now the wall comes down. Peanut with that clone, and BDD knows exactly what's going on. He's read him like a book, of course, from the King's Own days. Knows exactly what he's doing.
Looking for resets here because Doctom and Wei are so low. I don't think they'll be able to continue on the Dragon here. So a very Shelly fight. Yeah, Shelly will just go down. This fight felt so crazy because Zeus ended up in this super deep position. And this was a scenario where if Peanut was where Zeka was, this would be phenomenal. Yeah. This would just be so winning, but it's like Rise in the middle of 3, and he just dies. But if Peanut was there, oh my god, what a fight that would have, but he wasn't. And
also,
Zeka
Wei just kind of like wandered off.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very strange. Well, 2 items done here for Viper. That's certainly good news. Doctom still chasing after his Infinity Edge for item number 2. Of course, a lot more expensive.
Yeah, he's got the pricey build. But yeah, so some pretty manic things happening. Doctom's summoner's down, BDD because their summoner's down as well. A lot bit in that last scrap. Dragon's still up and available, and it's third on a Hextech stall for KT. So HLE need to make a headway in right now. KT in control of the area.
Oh, this is round 2. Let's see who's going to be able to come out on top in this rally.
Still a lot of ults not up, especially Zeus' ult not up. Cyclone coming up soon.
Yeah, not a lot of flashes as well. It's only the bottom lane for HLE that do have their flashes available. And Perfect does have his Wake and Run Fast with his Ghost, but doesn't have access to Flash because that is on cooldown also. Now River Control going to be picked up here by HLE as they clear out the mid wave.
KT are taking this bot tower. And I think the minions should be able to get it, but they gave up so much space around the dragon as a result.
Yeah. So the Drake is going to get started up here. It's just one lone dragon, as we were thinking about a Hex Gate option, as KT not going to be able to get Cuz in there, and they lose the dragon here as the fight's likely split up. As Delight, you could see it, he really wanted to turn. But instead, HLE, they'll take their prize, and they will back away. Slight gold advantage if HLE2 off the back end of this one, with those extra kills that they've been able to pick up. Man, this game is so close. It's kind of nutty.
I think KT going for that bot push to get the tower, I don't think it was really that worth it, given how much position they gave up on the dragon. Because I think HLE really were kind of faced with a difficult situation, pushing their way in, and they gave up a lot of space. Yes, they got the bot tower, but I just don't think it's that meaningful in comparison, and it was so low.
Yeah, I do think with the fact that Dokdom doesn't have his IE yet, and they had 2 items on the Yunara, so maybe it was more of like an identification of the fact that this team is stronger.
Yeah, maybe.
Time or something
like
that.
An opt-out decision. It's hard to say. Either way, they didn't need that dragon. It would have felt great to get it, but they are obviously in the position where with 2 in the bag already, not the end of the world if it goes.
Viper is throwing orbs. And that is not going to be a start on the Otacon. As the push in is going to continue here, Dokdom does have some long-range weapons with that Calibrum employed. But HLE wrapping around, looking for some angles, and perfect. Kind of out in no man's land, a dangerous place to be.
KT making a considered effort for this mid-tier 1.
Yeah, grabbing it.
Just pushing bot. You know, they're trying to lean towards Sadakan, but they might end up losing their mid-tier 1 in return. It's really hard to defend here. I think it's gone.
Yep, that is just going to be taken down. 3 grubs there for KT as well, but Otacon might be the trade. This is going to take a long time to go down, but Zeka can realm warp over if he is caught out. Still, Perfect going to be moving in. They do get the information that this Otacon is going to be taken. Zeus on a decent flank angle as well. They're clearing out as much vision as they possibly can. Now the ramp comes in as Delight with the ultimate already popped. The equalizer is down on top of Viper as Peanut and Viper are committing to this Otacon, which will be taken, but Delight is going to be sacrificed. Down goes Zeka as well. It's a double kill for the Aphelios. But they get their prize. And I think what they wanted was Otacon. And look, cracks, you got it.
I feel like it's hard to judge who really comes out ahead in that one, but a lot was lost there for HLE. 2 kills specifically onto the Aphelios, and you lose mid-tier 1. Honestly, I feel like that might just not be worth the situation. It's a lot of stats for the Otacon, it's a lot of XP, but this Aphelios is going to get snowballed really heavily off the back here. They focus down on the BDD, but don't manage to finish him off. The Locket comes through the CC on a Zeka, and specifically the fact that it is this Aphelios getting those kills, he's going to be feeling really good about that one.
Yeah, does have that IE now completed. Cute little crit cloak now on top of it as well. Lord Dom's looking like the 3rd item pickup here for the Aphelios, and it's a lot of damage. Actually, really, like, this was like the old Caitlyn build, Collector into IE. This feels like a really good 2-item spike, as of course Collector just feels great early on.
I will
add a bit of crit.
I will say something. I feel like Zeus getting that extra XP from the Otacon, really big for ornaments, but also
Very good point.
really far ahead of farm compared to Perfect. This over-grouping that KT have kind of done has really put him far behind in terms of CS. He just
I didn't even really notice. How did that even happen?
As the Rumble. I think it's just been a lot of other people catching the sideways, and it was that often grouping up for like the mid tower over the bot tower. He is really behind though. This Rumble's really weak. Not even, he's only just got 1 item and a few components. Zeus should be far second and has the ornament coming in.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really worrying concern for KT because the Rumble's not really a threat. You're really more reliant on Dokdom. If Dokdom gets CC'd by like Peanut or Delight, it represents a higher percentage of your damage being locked up. You know, if your equalizers aren't doing as much, Viper has more agency. The gold overall is close still, but I feel like just that Rumble being weak is a big concern.
Especially when, as Zeus hits the next few levels, it is just 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold every single time.
And you have the hidden advantages of the Otacon and the feats of strength. You know, those, they don't just play in the gold difference, but they are advantages that HLE have in pocket. Right now, though, 25 seconds on Baron and Dragon, so this is a big one. a lot of control has been given over to KT around this Dragon area. This feels super risky. It feels like HLE are trying to threaten a Baron, but there's still that Scuttle Crab, I believe, that is on the map that's been secured. So you can't really start the Baron without giving over that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And they have no control in the Dragon area. This would be third Dragon on a Hextech Soul for KT. You need to contest this.
Now they can spot everyone on HLE as this wave is going to move on forward. They're going to have to deal with that one. Teleport from Perfect as they are committing to this play. The rest of HLE have grouped up. This Dragon's gone. They are just now going to look to move over towards this Baron to try and trade it, but it's way too slow. As the Dragon is already gone, now Wei is moving in, finds an anchor. As the Baron down to 50%, HLE, are you turning or are you burning or are you leaving? And the answer is leaving. So the strategy is give Cloud Soul, give Hextech Soul for, wait, do I get nothing?
Yeah, not a good trade.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the cons column.
And the thing is, it didn't even feel like this was a scenario that they'd set up in advance, pre-planned and gone, hey, we're gonna take Baron, they're gonna get Dragon, here's how we're gonna do it. Because Peanut was doing Wolves when like this play.
Oh wait, no, they got Wolves?
Oh yeah, they got Wolves.
Never mind, they got Wolves.
Weird.
Nailed it.
But it just felt like they kind of lazily moved over as the Dragon was going down. And now they're trying to debate towards Baron.
Yeah. Well.
But the Scrying Orb spawns, and now there's no reason to face check this.
The light is on a bit of an angle here. Their composition is very scary. With the fact that, you know, Delight could go in, start fight Cyclone on top of it. There is, speaking of the Cyclone, but it's on the Cuz, and he's so durable, has the ulti already, the equalizer placement, kind of fantastic, the double jump, connects as Wei flashes over, but then Cuz has to immediately get out. Wei's just on his own, double knockups, gorgeous there from Zeus, and they've taken down 2 already. Dom trying to do the damage, 5%, nope! You are not allowed to do that, and HLE destroy 2, and now they'll take the Baron.
Yep, that'll be enough. Managing to start the engage. It's a little messy, little scrappy, but HLE do enough damage. Vipe in particular is shredding, very scary, and that will earn them the Baron they were going for.
Feels like
Eventually
KT,
the payoff is there.
Yeah, KT just stayed out on the map for too long. I think they probably had a bit of money to spend, and unfortunately, just had it reset. And HLE just took the opportunity to take them down. The ebbs and flows.
Okay, one thing I want to look out for here is who hit the blast cone that forced Viper's flash. Zeka ends up getting chunked in really close. He ends up getting really punished on the flash out. But then Viper... Zeka! That was Zeka!
No!
Oh, I saw that, Zeka. Yeah, instantly forced Viper's flash there. I was like, someone did it. That was, okay, well, a little bit of an oopsie from Zeka there.
You didn't need to do it to him.
Yeah.
You know, Zeka's had enough. We were giving him a hard time earlier on.
Guys, I'm number 1 Viper defender today. Someone's like, he made a mistake at the flash. No.
Nope.
His teammates.
It was, in fact, Zeka's mistake.
Okay, that was funny though. But yeah, Baron on the side of HLE, big advantage, but I think KT being 1 away from Hextech Soul is still a dangerous position. So HLE need to get a lot of this Baron. They are looking for this bot lane tier 2 and a big influx of gold from that.
Yep. It was the top lane outer turret going on over to BDD, so not only does that mean a bit of extra money for KT, but also they're not going to be getting the top inner turret anytime soon. As Perfect will be able to return this wave. And Dr. in a bit of a scary position, does have a lot of southerly vision, so he'll probably be safe. Having a look at this heart monitor of a gold graph here, as it's moved the needle slightly towards HLE, but only 2.5k is going to be their lead at the minute. And still BDD is ahead, 3 items now done as well, as the Void Staff did just come in.
Third ornament coming through, Peanut getting the upgraded Triforce there, so Zeus getting super tanky. It's getting pretty scary, you know?
Yeah. All right, we've just going to block this wave so that this outer turret stays healthy. It's going to be pretty worthwhile.
The fact they have Baron, they still haven't broken mid-tier 1 is pretty...
It's crazy.
Yeah, really struggling to get through there. KT doing a lot to try and maintain that. Weaver's Wall obviously coming down there to defend, but it feels like this concerted effort, KT grouping a lot, and I feel like this is why Perfect's been suffering, this almost over-grouping, where he's just hanging around mid. He's not farming.
He's protecting Wei by throwing harpoons at things that are scary.
But it's just, we now have a support Rumble.
Yeah, it's not great. At least BDD is still very strong, and that Lord Doms that we were talking about has been completed here for Dr. Arm. So 3 items on the Aphelios is a very big deal. But what is bigger is Viper. Has equalized the scoreline entirely, has more global goals, so does have a 900 gold advantage. 3-0-3 for both of these 80 carries. Is the Dr. Arm Aphelios going to be enough to deal with Viper's Yunara? That's the big question, and I just don't know. This champion, in the hands of our best players, has just looked pretty good.
I also think it's just an easier time because Viper, a lot of the champions he has to cut through are kind of butter in comparison.
And also, Aphelios just does a lot more confusing things.
Yeah. But you know, this Ornn, this Alistar, they're going to be harder targets to shred through. Okay, Dragon Beam started. HLE, don't let it be a flip.
Yeah.
Start the fight earlier and make sure you get the, do not let them get soul.
Well, remember, this is also a Weaver's Wall opportunity for BDD, so he can split up this fight. In goes the Ornn, but Zeus is just getting cooked. The knockup's gorgeous. Wei's going to be traded, but Dr. Arm, can he stay alive? The knockup, so good! And they do manage to take him down, but Viper is chasing out Cuz. He gets into melee range, finds the knockup, and now Cuz is just running away. He's back in! The barrier is enough to save him! But my God, that was way closer than it had any right to be, and it's Hextech Soul for KT. I didn't even see it when it happened. It was just chaos.
Cuz just laser beamed straight for the Hextech Soul, and it's a 3 for 3, despite the fact there's a gold deficit. KT get what they want, and I think HLE, you got the Dragon too low, so the fight starts. We get the Realm Warp in, Peanuts on a flank. They're going for the Aphelios here, and they do connect on a Dr. Arm. But look at Cuz, he's like, I don't care, I'm getting soul. And he gets it. So even though we see the Aphelios go down, BDD kites back and deals with these threats on the backline. Meanwhile, Cuz has this intense 1v1 that, yeah, Viper does eventually win with the help of Zeka. But at the end of the day, when you're 3k gold down and you have an even fight and you secure soul, that's an absolute win.
And if this was another Chemtech Soul situation, I'd be like, but it's Hextech Soul. This is the most broken soul in the game. And Dr. Arm is now just going to be an absolute monster.
Well, you have to remember that HLE did get that wolf camp earlier, so...
Oh, that is a real... I apologize.
You have to factor that in.
Forgetting.
Forgot about the wolves.
Yeah. It was a 2 for 2 as well, I guess. It's all right, we're walling.